Hi, this is Glenn B. from ballseyesboomers.blogspot.com, and what you see in front of you on the table is a Glock Model 26 semi-automatic pistol in 9mm. As you can see, the slide is open. There's no magazine in the weapon. You can see that here. You can see that by looking through the magazine well from the top of the slide. You see my finger waving around down there at the bottom. You can also see that there's no ammunition inside the chamber. I'm going to look, I'm going to feel, and I'm going to show you how to disassemble this weapon for a field strip and a cleaning, and how to clean it properly. I'm not going to actually do the cleaning. I'm going to give you some tips on how to clean it and clean it well so that it won't malfunction on you. In order to disassemble this weapon, I'm going to have to allow the slide to go forward and then squeeze the trigger. Violation supposedly of one of the safety rules. However, I will check again and show you. There's no magazine in there. You can see my finger at the bottom of the magazine well moving around. Looking here in the chamber, there's nothing in it. Let the slide go forward. I'm going to take the gun off screen for a moment to point it in a safe direction. I don't know if you'll hear it or not. If you heard it, that click was me activating the trigger. I pull the trigger back. You have to do that in order to be able to clear this weapon and take it apart. The next thing you do is you take your hand, in my case my right hand, I wrap my thumb around the back of the back strap. As such, I pull back the slide along the top with those fingers, a certain amount, pull down on the tabs on each side of the slide, one here, one on the exact opposite side. You just pull down on them, and then you let the slide go forward, and it separates just like that. Just take the frame here, put it on the side, take the slide, put your finger on the back of the recoil rod assembly, push forward a little bit and tilt up, and it comes right out. Next thing you do is just roll it over and allow the barrel to fall out like that. I want it to come out in your hand without actually falling out would be better. You don't want it falling on the floor. This weapon has now been disassembled into its basic component parts for a field strip disassembly. You have the recoil rod assembly with the recoil springs and rods. You have the barrel, you have the slide, and the frame of the pistol. In order to clean this really well, there are a few things that you need to pay attention to. First of all, when you go to clean it, one of the things that you really want to pay attention to on a Glock is here on the feed ramp and all around the back section of the chamber, the outside of the chamber area here. I don't know if you can see it, this gun is pretty filthy. I doubt it'll come out since it's just black fouling on top of black gunmetal. But if I scrape it in here a bit with this pick, you can maybe able to see some of the fouling is coming off on my thumb here and here. It really builds up in here. I just use the pick to demonstrate that it builds up. The best way to get that off is with a brass brush. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Clean the feed ramp, clean the back face of the breech. Go back and forth over it several times. Make sure to clean in this corner up here on each side of the back of the barrel, here and here. Fouling will build up in both of these right angle areas and will prevent the gun from going into full battery if enough of it builds up. Another area that you want to make sure you keep very clean is at the front of the lock block. This is being the lock block here. At the front of that and the top of it, this crease or this angle right in here, another right angle. Let me show it to you here. You can see it right in there. It's right in here. You want to make sure you get that clean in there. Again, with a brass brush, back and forth, back and forth. Fouling has a tendency to build up in there. If it builds up in here or back around here, when the gun goes into battery, it'll sometimes fail to go fully into battery. The slide will not fully mesh. slide will not fully mesh with the barrel as it is now. It may just be a tiny bit off, and that will cause the firing pin, I don't know if you can see it or not, it's right in here. It's that little spot right above where my finger is pointing to, just at the end of my fingertip there. That's the firing pin sticking out of the firing pin canal. And the firing pin will wind up coming out and not lining up with the middle of the barrel the way it should, or the middle of the primer the way it should. It'll wind up hitting the primer on the edge. It'll be a light hit and hit the primer on the edge. The round may or may not go off. So that's why you want to make sure to get all of the fouling off of this each time that you clean this gun. You can also use the brass brush at the bottom of the locking lug, like this, and in the front of it also at the bottom up here. This is another area you have to pay attention to keep it clean all around like that. Other than that, the barrel would take a regular cleaning. You clean it with a brass brush in the chamber some. This brass brush is a 40 caliber brush that I have here. It's not a 38 caliber or 9mm size brush, so I use it just for the chamber. I spin it around in there a few times to get off any fouling. Take that brush off. I would put one on that fits in a 9mm barrel, a 38 caliber brush, and use that to clean the inside of the barrel. After that, I would take the brushes off. I would put this slotted jag on the end to a slotted cleaning rod tip on the end of the cleaning rod, put a cleaning patch through it, soak it in some solvent, run it through the barrel a few times, let the barrel sit for about 5 or 10 minutes, and after that start running clean, dry patches through the barrel to get out any fouling and any moisture left over from the cleaning solvent. I also give this a cleaning. Take a slightly damp cleaning patch with a little bit of solvent on it, running around it completely, trying to get in between the coils of the spring. I just want to get it clean. I want to make sure the whole thing is clean all the way around. Put that in the side. A few minutes later I would also dry it off. You want to pay attention to cleaning the slide, especially the bottom portion of the slide. You want to clean the slide rails on each side. You can give them a once over with a brass brush, or go 2 or 3 times over them with a brass brush. Also the bottom of the slide like this in here a couple of times. Take a cleaning pad with a little bit of solvent, just making it the slightest bit damp. You don't want it very wet so drops of it are coming off. And make sure to clean in here on each side. Clean the rails, or the grooves for the rails in here very well. Make sure you get that all clean. Clean around all over on the inside of the slide with the cleaning pad. You don't want to get down into this opening back here. You don't want to get any extra dirt into there. To clean inside of there, you'd need to take the gun apart further. I recommend that only a Glock armorer do that. You want to depress the plunger over here when you're cleaning. Maybe take a Q-tip that you have some solvent on, hold that down, put it down on the table like this. Depress the plunger. I know you can't see it right now, but just as I just showed you, just push that plunger down. Take a Q-tip with some solvent and clean around that. You don't want it dripping off. You want it barely damp from the solvent, and you just want to clean around in there, in front and in back, in front here and in back on the slide of that plunger. You also want to take a good deal of attention. You want to give a good deal of attention to the underside of the extractor. This is the extractor here. It hooks around to the inside of the slide. I don't know if you can see it very well here, but the tip of the pick is going up under it now. I'll get it up under there one more time. It's up under there now. I can pull out quite a bit of fouling like that. It's not too dirty right now. I shot this pistol not too long ago and waited till now to clean it. Haven't cleaned it yet. But I didn't shoot that many rounds through it. If you shoot a couple hundred rounds through it though, it can build up quite a bit of fouling underneath the extractor. If that is not clean, the pistol may fail to extract. This applies to any semi-automatic pistol that has an extractor. And if you don't clean under it, it can cause fouling to build up. Quite a bit of carbon can build up under there. That carbon is pretty hard. It causes the extractor to not ride up right over the end of the shell casing, thus it won't snag onto it and pull it out when it's supposed to be extracting it after firing. Other than that, you want to make sure that you clean the frame pretty well. You want to clean here and here, on the rails. You want to clean the rails back here. You want to clean all the metal parts here. Again, with a patch with just a tiny bit of solvent on it. You don't want it dripping. You don't want that stuff to drip down inside. You want to reach down in here and clean this area right in here. You want to clean this area with a Q-tip. You want to get in here with a Q-tip in this area. You want to clean as much as you can in around here. Again, do it with a Q-tip with a little bit of solvent on, then do it with the dry end of the Q-tip. Make sure when you're doing it with a Q-tip or with another type of cotton swab that you don't leave any cotton material behind. Good reason to have a set of picks like this if you see any in there. You can pull it out with a pick, or you could use a small pair of tweezers. You want to clean in here, you want to clean up around the front, clean these metal parts, and that's it. When you're done with the cleaning, you want to apply a tiny drop of oil to your fingertip. Rub it on each of the rails, just a little bit. Right back here, this part right here, you want to apply a single small drop of oil so it runs down this part right here from the side that you're looking at. Excuse me. You can also apply a little bit of oil along here where the slide rides on the rails, and that's basically all you need in there. And if you want to, you can apply a drop or two of oil to your fingertips, rub it around, get most of it off, and go around the barrel like this after you've cleaned the bore. You know the inside is clean. Rub it around here. Maybe take a Q-tip with just a tiny bit of oil on it and rub it in here. You don't need any on the feed ramp. You don't need any inside the barrel. I know plenty of people put a little bit of oil inside their barrel. I never do. I leave it to the cleaning solvent to lubricate the inside of the barrel enough for when I shoot it. And basically, that's it. Those are the places that you want to pay good attention to when you're cleaning a Glock pistol. It applies to a Glock 26. It applies to a Glock Model 19 and other pistols of the same generation. When it comes to the Glock's newest pistols, the Gen 4 pistols, I don't know much about them, so I don't want to speak toward them. Just speak toward something like the Glock 26, the Model 19, and other similar models to that. Thanks for watching. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.